Yes, sir. We are back. We are back again. Um, what can we say? At this point, we're just watching some playoff football, mainly because we're not in the playoffs. But either way, we still got some things to talk about, okay? So get your snacks, get your drinks, whatever tied you over, because we're going to be here for a little while. Welcome back, Sick Podcast Anvil Show. Sammy, bring us in.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Anvil Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir. And before we get into anything, let's just go ahead and just bring up the people that pay the bills. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, makes every playoff moment feel so much bigger. DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. So if the player in your eligible NFL prop bet, let's just say they go down with an injury in the first half, you still get paid in cash. All right, so that means that gives you a freebie. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SICKSPORTS. That's SICKSPORTS. All caps, no spaces. That's code SICKSPORTS to turn $5 into 300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
All right. Then give us the sound of the anvil, please. All right. And once again, welcome back to the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. I am your faithful host, CJ, along with my fellow host. You don't even give the people a name. We just give them peace signs now.
I don't need a name.
Oh, you don't need a name. Okay.
I'm the journalist formerly known as Big P.
Oh, so you're just
How's
going
that?
as a symbol now. You're going as, so you're a symbol now. That's what you are. Okay.
The P
gotcha,
symbol.
Gotcha. The P symbol. That is ridiculous. Okay. That's ridiculous. But either way. Welcome back to Sick Podcast Anvil Show. We're giving you everything Colts. Like I said, we don't have a lot to talk about because we haven't been playing games because, we're just not in playoffs. So it is what it is. But like I said, we still got some things to discuss because, we had an eventful few weeks. We know last week we had the press conferences, which set the fan base ablaze. And this week, now it's just kind of looking towards the future. So as we're looking at the future, we're going to be discussing some things with some players, some that we like, some that we may feel about, but we're going to be going over all that. By the way, already shout out to Kevin, Cody, Stacy. Shout out to wherever you're viewing from. Make sure that you're liking, sharing, commenting, all that good stuff. Make sure that you have it going on all platforms because, like I said, we're going to be here for the next about 45 minutes or so. So, we're out here. But
Look, I can say this. Before Clyde went on vacation this time, he messaged me and he said, tell everybody that if they don't follow us on YouTube, that they're Titan fans.
oh, Lord. You
Not,
don't want to be a
not
Titan
my
fan.
words. Not my words.
Yeah, you do not want to be a Titan fan because they go through it regularly. Like I know we've seen some stuff, but they have been through some nonsense. So yeah, make sure that you subscribe. You don't want to get that. You don't want to get that Titans tag because if you get that, it's over for you. So just keep that in mind.
Just saying.
But but you know what? I think so. I wanted to just kind of talk about tonight because we've been talking about players that are going to get, players that we're looking at to maybe, get new, have new landing spots, maybe guys to resign. But I wanted us to kind of go over that because I know we believe that, yes, we're going to have the ability to be able to sign certain people, be able to sign people back. What's going on, Gary? Sign people back and, but the thing is, it's not the question of who we would like because, it's just that I feel like maybe there's some emotional attachment to certain players. Like strictly from a player standpoint or a play standpoint, I want to know exactly what you're thinking in regards to some of the players. And I have the list of the guys who are just going to be like the unrestricted free agents, like the guys that we will have to hold on to and, like we just cannot afford to let go. So, I think we have about 8 to 10 guys roughly. So all I'm going to do, Pat, I'm just going to ask that you just go ahead, not just provide me with the answer, but then also give me the reason why. And then, like I said, we'll be able to go over that. So let's just go ahead and jump into it, right? Let's go with the most intriguing name, the unrestricted free agent, the biggest unrestricted free agent that we have coming due, Alec Pierce.
Yeah, start with there. You start with the quarterback.
No, we start with Alec Pierce.
All right, he's getting re-signed.
Okay,
hopefully.
Yes.
Hey, he's definitely proved himself. He's definitely a fan favorite. I don't.
So, Teresa?
To me, you can't let talent like that walk out the door. I mean, the dude comes down with 85% of his catches.
Yeah.
Or his targets. I mean, let me rephrase it. He comes down with 85% of his targets. So, how are you going to let talent like that walk out the door? I have no clue.
Yeah. And
so,
I think
in my opinion, definitely re-sign him.
Yeah, and I think even beyond that, like, it's really hard to find that type of speed at 6'4", especially with the fact that I believe he's the one player that we've seen truly just develop into a deep threat. Like, he's actually really just shown, I'm going to say, not just this year, but like last year also, he's shown over the last couple of years he can 100% come in and he could be a difference maker. I think this year in the games that he missed, you saw how big the gap was when he was in the game and when he wasn't in the game. And at that point, you knew it's just like, okay, yeah, we definitely need to keep this guy because once again, he's the only legitimate deep threat that we have. But I mean, he's a matchup nightmare. He's taller than most cornerbacks, but then he's also faster than most cornerbacks also. So, I mean, I don't think he's somebody that you can afford to lose. And if I'm being honest, I can see him potentially maybe moving into that wide receiver 1 spot, but that's going to be something we'll leave for another show.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave that one for another show because that's going to be an incendiary comment. So,
yes.
Now, all right. So we're both consensus keep. All right.
I think everybody in the fan base is right there with us on that.
100%. 100%. So unrestricted free agent. Next up, we have Mo Alie-Cox.
See you, Mo. The last 2 training camps, I was surprised he survived them. He is a big body. He is a decent blocker, but in receiving, he is so inconsistent that it drives me insane.
Yeah.
I know our coaching staff doesn't really utilize a tight end the way they're supposed to, or the way they can. Not necessarily. There is no supposed tos in this game. At the beginning of the season, they used Warren left and right. And it seemed like towards the end of the season when we was in this spiral, they hardly threw to him. Now, that's just stats that's in my head. I don't actually have, the targets in front of me from the first half of the season to the last half of the season. But that's just what, really sticks to my mind. So you can let a blocking tight end go.
Yeah.
But you can't let a tight end go that can do it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do have a couple of those on our team now. You don't utilize them properly, in my opinion, but they can do it all, and they're consistently doing it. So, but Mo, in my opinion, can go.
Okay. All right, and that's fair. I think Mo leaving probably is where I'm at with that as well, because I'm over what that would take to get the like I'm just gonna say it as a whole. I think I'm just over the just keeping guys around because we like them. Like I feel like it's just like we've had that mentality where it's just like guys become household names for our households, as opposed to being a household name because of production and because of everything else. And to me, it's not what we need in order for this team to really get over the hump. Because I really do feel like we have guys on the roster that we like because we hear from them, we see the clips, we see the audio. They're fun guys. They have magnetic personalities, but in reality, like they're not getting it done on the field.
Yeah, exactly. And when I say bye to Mo, it's not because I don't like him personally.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. Yeah,
Mo's a great guy. He's fun to talk to. Fun, just stand around, talk football with. Absolutely good guy. But what Clyde was saying last week had a lot of truth to it. Is we need dogs on this team. We need beasts on this team. We need people that's going to get it done consistently, week in and week out. And when you're an inconsistent pass catcher, it's not getting it done.
Yeah.
If you're on that field, you should be consistent, and everybody should be able to depend on you. Now, nobody's perfect. I don't expect anybody to catch 100% of their passes. I don't expect a quarterback to throw, 100% of his passes that gets caught. You know what I mean? That's not reality. But the reality that I'm speaking of is that there is 3 times the drops as there is catches. It's very inconsistent. Make room for somebody that wants to be consistent, that wants to be a champion. If you want to be a champion, you're going to be more consistent than anybody else. That's it. So kind of going into this offseason, this free agency, this cap cycle, and I bring up cap cycle because Teresa said probably Pittman too, which, he's still under contract. So he's not going to be in this conversation this week. Maybe next week we can go over, cap casualties and whatnot. But you need to be a dog on that field.
Yeah.
Catch everything, punch everybody in the damn mouth, keep your quarterback upright, open lanes for JT. I want it all. And I'm sick of mediocrity. I want it all. Nice guys, great. Come hang out. But on that field, I want killers. I want champions. I want consistent football.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, I think that's my sentiment, especially when it comes to Mo. And I think I kind of felt like this even before this year because of the fact that he's just been a guy that I think he's never truly established himself as like that tight end, right? Because he had years. Like we can go back to even before AR was drafted. The year that they brought in Jelani Woods, Jelani Woods, he was hurt kind of on and off, but not too much. But the thing was, it's like you had years after Jack Doyle, before we signed Tyler Warren, to establish yourself as the de facto tight end 1. And I think he pretty much only ended up being the tight end 1 because Jelani Woods was hurt. And also because of the fact that nobody else in that room was really, truly able to establish themselves. I know Drew Ogletree dealt with, some injury stuff, dealt with some issues. Okay, that's fine. But the problem is that you had a room where you had nothing but opportunity and you never seized it. Like they even had Kylan Granson out there, and that man was absolutely whiffing on passes.
Oh my God! Don't get me going on that dude. He really broke my heart. I had a lot of expectations for him. He really broke my heart. But and think about it too. When Ballard and team re-signed Mo, they only re-signed him for this year. And they didn't give him a long extended contract. It was 1 year. Was it a prove it type year? Probably. But in my opinion, he did not prove it.
Absolutely not. No.
So that's why I say go. And and it's not. And if there's somebody that I don't necessarily care for, I'm going to tell you, that guy can go because he's a dick. I don't like him at all. I don't like the way he plays. I don't like the way he does, off season. I don't like how he does in the community. I'll be honest with you about my true feelings on somebody. But Mo, yeah, I like Mo. Mo's a heck of a nice guy. But man, just too inconsistent, Chris. He's got to go.
Yeah, and I think I'm right there with you. Like he's a great guy. It's like it's just like I can't have the heat with Ballard unless I have the heat with the players too. And it's just like these are good guys. Like these are all people who are very high character, that are great people, just great personalities. But when it comes to that production, or when it comes time to perform, they're just not where they should be.
I agree.
So, I mean, at that point, it's just like, okay, well, we just kind of like, all right, we're just going to have to deal with that accordingly. So then moving on, so then we're both let him walk. Next person, Braden Smith.
Got to go. I like Braden. I really, really do. I know he's been through the ringer, but he's another one to me that is too inconsistent.
Yeah.
Especially at the right tackle. I mean, everybody talks about the blind side, being the tough side of the line. But right side, that's where all your action comes from, because that's where the gist of the direction of the team goes when they're playing the calls, because 99% of quarterbacks are right-handed. So it's just natural flow to go to the right side. Now, of course, I'm not stupid. I'm not saying they all go that way. It all depends on where you're at on the field.
Yeah.
If you're on the far right hash, you're probably not going to call too many plays to the right side. But just in general is what I'm speaking of. Right-handed quarterbacks have a tendency to flow to the right.
Yeah.
That's a very important side of the field, in my opinion. And Braden, God love him. I don't know, Chris. It's just one of he's just one of those ones that's okay. It's time. We're gonna move on. You move on. Figure things out. If you go somewhere else, good luck to you. Type situations.
Yeah.
We need that consistent. We need those people that's going to be on the field week in, week out. We don't need injuries, and that was one thing that I was glad to see Ryan Kelly leave, because of all the injuries, all the inconsistency. You can be the greatest player in the world, but you're worthless if you're not on that field. Now, I know injuries happen, and I'm not the guy to scream, oh, he's injury prone, he's made of glass. I'll never do that. But reality is reality. When you're hurt and off the field more than you are healthy and on the field, it's time to go. It's time to move on, regardless of your talent. Because on the sidelines, you're doing this team no good. You're doing this fan base no good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. And I think for the most part I agree, because it's not, and I think it's not just the injury, but also it's just, I know, like, he went through what he went through, and I'm glad that he was able to just figure it out, just get past I think his own, I think to an extent. And for me, it's just one of those feelings that it's like I feel like maybe at this point in his career, he'd be okay with just going and saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm okay. Like I'm good." Just kind of walking away. It's kind of like what it feels like. Because I
Yeah.
mean, it's just like he had the injury, just kind of shut it down. But it's just like those injuries, having to go through pain management and doing all that. It was like, I know that's a big grueling part of that as well in terms of like the mental aspect of it. Also,
I don't know. Teresa says we're not streaming on Facebook. Are you sure? We were earlier.
yeah, I see. I looked at the Facebook stream and it's showing that it's still up. Yeah, it's showing that it's still up currently.
Huh. Maybe she just likes messing with me.
Well, perhaps.
Yeah, that's still up.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But also on top of that, I think like Braden kind of restructured his deal just to open up, get some money, for the team. And I don't think that was by mistake. I think that was also something where he's just like, like, hey, yeah, we'll just go ahead and work it out. But I mean, honestly, even if he doesn't retire, I just don't see him coming back. I do believe that he's solid when he plays, but he just hasn't been on the field enough to justify going and extending him again for anything that the position and I'm going to say his standing with the team would do. Like, I think maybe if you could assign him on maybe like a lower deal, something smaller, then fine. But I mean, I just don't see us at least re-signing him in that case. Like, I just don't see it personally.
I agree.
So, all right. So we for the
on
most part
vacation.
Yeah, Clyde's on vacation.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about to turn. Okay, listen to who y'all believes that I have biased takes? Hey, Pat.
I don't think you got biased takes.
No, because I always push back because of certain things. So he was one of the he was one of the what they call the AR super soldiers, the ones that were just keeping for AR nonstop. He's also one of the guys who is very heavy on we need Tyler Warren, we don't need defense, that kind of stuff. And then the newest gripe it has been that he said that Ashton Doolin, he said that before the season, I think early in the season, he said Ashton Doolin is our most explosive player.
I wouldn't go most explosive player. If anything, JT would be the most explosive. But Ashton Doolin is absolutely a Swiss Army knife.
Oh, absolutely. But would you say that he's our most explosive though?
No, absolutely. No, absolutely not. I would definitely say JT is that. In my opinion.
Yes, absolutely.
But my opinion is my opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. That's what makes it fun.
Exactly.
We don't know. Man, there's a lot of times, Chris, me and you don't agree on stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
But we have a lot of good talks. We have a lot of good banner. Sometimes you call me crazy. Sometimes I call you crazy.
Yep.
Just the sports and stocks. Everybody's going to have their own opinion.
And it's fun. So, like I said, we have fun.
Yeah, if Huon thinks that's who the most explosive player is, I say, hey, go for it, man. You can have it. But if you're really going to die on this hill, you might want to go back and rewatch some tape because he's definitely not the most explosive player. One, he's not on the field, but 10% of the time?
Yeah. Yeah.
By
the way, shout out to everybody commenting. Huyan, Gloria. I think I shouted you out, Mike. So, yeah. So
Gloria's got the best profile picture ever. Bring that back up, Sammy.
Is it because you're in it?
No.
Oh yeah. Okay, no. Yeah, that's.
You see,
I do like that. I do like that one. I do like that one.
She does owe me a hot dog and a beer though.
Well, hey, she's gonna have to get that at the first home game next season.
There you go.
Next up, and I've already been on record saying what I felt or how I felt about this person, so I'm just going to Just say the name, and you already know. Quiddy Pay.
You know, we've talked kind of all year about Quiddy's not necessarily inconsistency, but the inability to get to the quarterback coming from what was he, 13th, 14th pick in the draft or something?
We got him after we went to the playoffs. So I believe he was 21, 22?
Was he that low?
Because that was the year after we went to the playoffs with Phillip Rivers. So
he was a first-round pick, regardless. He was a first-round pick, and you're getting
hold on, Malcolm.
8.5 sacks a year. That ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah,
and I like Quiddy. Super, super funny guy. Always has a smile on his face. But again, it's not about the friendships that I make. It's about building a winning team. And we need people after that damn quarterback, and he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Now if you're going to re-sign him on a cap-friendly deal and use him as rotational piece in the run game, okay. He does well in the run game. He just can't get to the quarterback as much as we need him to.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be you already know. I've said I'm absolutely not with the whole bringing Quiddy Pack thing because of the fact that was he drafted to be a pass rusher? Yes. Is he actually a good pass rusher or actually a pass rusher? I don't believe so because that wasn't his bag coming out of college. He just was he was a player that they drafted. They saw some physical intangibles. They said, this guy should work. And it turns out that he didn't. So now it's just okay, that's a wasted pick. I'm not of the thought process that you need to keep on holding on to this project mentality. It didn't work out. It's been 5 years and he hasn't been able to establish himself as a 100% full-time pass rusher. And, the fact that, even now, you could ask some fans, it's just they're just how do you feel about Quiddy Pay? Well, he stops to run well. And that's fantastic, but we don't need a run stopper. We need a pass rusher. And more often than not this season, it's just I think we saw outside of your Myles Garrett's, your Max Crosby's, things like that. You see what it is when you have a tandem pass rushers. Hell, we had Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis for as long as we did, and even though the defense as a whole wasn't that great, those two kept our defense pretty honest when it came down to going against opposing offense.
Yeah, because those kind of bookends will force everything into the middle and bottleneck everything. That's what bookends are supposed to do. They're supposed to force everything back into the middle and bottleneck that shit. That's why our defense, the Gary Brackett days and Robert Mathis, Dwight Freeney, all them days, that's why they were able to make stops because of those two.
Yep.
Go back and watch film. There's very few plays that got outside of those two men. And if you're not getting outside of the ends, you're getting pushed back into the middle.
Yep. And that's all the more reason why I think I feel the way I feel regarding what needs to happen in regards to these pass rushers. Because I do believe that Latu is a good pass rusher. I just think I do believe that he was drafted to be a pass rusher and then some. And so that's why I kind of feel like he's kind of playing at this point a little out of place. I feel like he's a guy that if they were to switch to 3-4, I think he would murder teams. He would just he would go crazy. But the thing is, it's just you want him to be in there just as a pass rusher, whatever it is. And I mean, the man ended the year with 8.5 sacks and 3 interceptions. It's not by mistake.
Latu especially under Lou's defense, really let his wings open. And they didn't restrict him to just edge play.
Yeah.
You know, they dropped him in coverage. That's where he got those interceptions. You know, Latu can do just about anything on that defense.
Yeah.
So if you're going to play a player like Latu and move him around, his numbers are going to be smaller than, you know, a Myles Garrett, because that's all he does. All Myles Garrett does is rush the passer. That's it. He's got one job. That is it. Latu had several jobs this year under Coach Lou. You know, so as long as he's producing in those makeshift roles, I don't care about his numbers, because he's a competitor. He's that monster on the field that we were talking about at the beginning of the show that we want. You can put him anywhere and he's going to dominate. So, you know, if X% is Latu dropping back, covering a slot or covering a tight end, he's not going to get the sack numbers that Myles Garrett gets, because he's got more jobs than one. You know, so I will never look at Latu, especially under Coach Lou's system, as, oh, he only got 8.5, 9 sacks. He only got 12 sacks this year. That's pretty, you know, mediocre if you ask me. No, you need to look at all the jobs that man does.
Yeah.
And then come back and tell me how successful he was in each of those jobs.
Yeah.
And then we can have a conversation. Just don't talk this is just when it comes to Latu. Don't talk to me just about numbers with Latu. Only because under Lou, man, that dude's definitely a defensive Swiss Army knife. Lou moves that guy around. And he should. He's talented. He can do it. Utilize him. You know, if he's not worried about, you know, breaking the sack record, then let's just win the games. Let's not worry about, you know, one job. You got one job. Sack the quarterback. Sack the quarterback. I want 5 sacks from you this game.
Yeah. You know what? I think
those aren't the talks that you have with Latu. With Latu is like, okay, hey, this guy's a little shifty, so we're going to back you off from time to time. You know, get a little help back there. Okay, coach. That's his mindset. It's okay, coach. And that's a good thing. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Long-winded.
No. It's all good. So I think we're both consensus no on Quiddy.
Yeah, just because he hasn't developed into what he was drafted for.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, go back to the one comment from Huyan, the one that says this is why it didn't make sense keeping Ballard. It's like he drafted, I think, around 10 to 12 defensive ends, and none of them have worked out. I think outside of Latu. I think Latu actually does have a bright future with this. And then after that, he said, we need a GM that has an eye for defense because we need a lot of help there.
GM that has an eye for defense. Who on? Has Ballard hit on every draft? No. But no GM hits on every draft. Now, let's see. He drafted Odangbo. He worked out pretty damn good. Quiddy, like I said, Quiddy's not a bust. He's just not what we drafted him for.
But technically, if he's not what you drafted him for, especially in the first round, is that not a bust?
Yeah, it is. But we know he can play. He's just not getting to the quarterback. So that's where I'm at with him. But to pin a player's success to a GM is pretty crazy. Now, these coaches, these GMs, these scouts, they have a piece of paper in front of them. Okay, does this guy mark this box, this box, this box? Okay, what about this one, this one, this one, this one? And they go through the whole thing on paper. And if they mark off enough boxes, they're going to take a chance on them. From that point, it's up to the player to become successful. The player has to make sure he's getting the right training. The player has to make sure he's getting the right coaching. The player has to understand the scheme. The player has, more of it, Chris, falls on the player, in my opinion, than it does the GM. It's like I'm running a business and I hire you from your resume. Okay, because that's all I've got to go on is your resume. Now I can call somebody and say, hey, how'd Chris work out for you? Oh, he's a nice guy, da-da-da-da-da. But you come into my shop and you just shit the bed because whatever reason. Is that on me because I hired you, or is that on you because you either lied on your resume or you didn't work hard enough to figure out my system in my shop?
What I'll say to that is, I will say that if for some reason, let's just say you have a string of maybe 2 to 3 guys, over time, because I think, if you have a small sample size, I think things kind of can lean more towards, your manner. But he's been drafting edges since 2018. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we know exactly what it was, because that we had Teray. You also know that you had Banigou, you had Tyquan Lewis, you had all these guys that were coming in that have been consistently drafted over time that have just not worked out. And I think Kwity was like the first true swing on an edge in the draft. And I don't think that was even a true swing on an edge, because I mean, Quity's a guy that was never really known for being a pass rusher, when no matter how you believed you might be able to flip it in the first round, you can't. It's that project thing. Like you're putting your efforts and you're putting a lot of your stake into a project potentially. Because that's what Kwity was. Like, you were going to turn him into a project, or where he was going to turn into a pass rusher. So, I mean, I just don't believe that he himself was ever going to truly reach that. Like, I just don't. What's going on, Dean? I think I shout out Nate already. But yeah, so I just don't believe.
Start stirring up the hornet's nest in the chat. Look, you guys, don't forget, Dean is family to me.
Yes, I know.
Hell of a nice guy. The only thing bad about him is that he's a Patriots fan, but he's a super individual. If you ever got to know him, you'd love him. I promise. Except you wouldn't like his sports teams, but you'd love him as a person.
I'm sure. What's going on, Blue? But yeah, so Kwity out.
That's kind of my thing with players and GMs. You're given a chance. Your expectations are this, and for whatever reason, you don't hold up to those expectations. Now, a lot of some of what I can say about Kwity was coaching. He just had 3 years of Gus Bradley. That was not an aggressive defensive coach when it came to that line. Did that hinder his stats quite a bit? Could have, yes, absolutely. But you go into Lou's defense, where he is a lot more aggressive on the play calling at the line, and he still didn't really produce what we wanted him to produce.
Yeah, and not only that, but the thing is, we also saw it. Like, we saw more often than not that the attention was shifted over to where you saw Latu getting double teams. We saw Buck getting double teams. It was to the point where Kwity had one-on-one matchups that he just wasn't winning.
Agreed.
And outside of the occasional multi-sack game, there would be games where, like I said, in Arizona, I think he had like a 2-3 sack game, and then we didn't hear from him for a good portion of the season after that. So, it's that kind of stuff that it's just like it's the inconsistency. Not only that, but on top of the fact that he just doesn't look like he's progressed as a pass rusher in the time that he's been there. So, all right. So here, this one is a little bit perplexed because this isn't actually a guy that we had, but this is a guy that, has been here for this year, and that's Jermaine Pratt.
He came in and done well. But he is getting long in the tooth. That's a knock. But on the upside, he's probably our best cover linebacker.
Yeah.
And that's not saying a whole lot because, how many times we see him get burnt this year?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, just to follow what Ballard said in his presser, younger, faster.
Yeah.
I think his age will kind of get him more than his play. He played well for us, though. I'm not saying anything negative about him, but I think we was just a stopgap, if you will, for this year.
Yeah.
For Jermaine. I don't think anybody expected signing him long term.
So now let me ask you this. Would you be opposed to getting rid of Zaire and keeping Pratt? Because I'm gonna also give you this caveat. Zaire is only 2 months younger than Pratt. So if Pratt's long in the tooth, that means that Zaire's long in the tooth as well.
Yeah, if he's only a couple months behind him. That's a hard one to answer, Chris. Because I've been bitching about Z's cover effectiveness all year.
Yeah.
And he can make a stop here or there, but 90+% of the time, he's getting burnt. I like Z. Z's a good friend of the show. Personally, if you keep Z, I think you need to make his role different than what it was this year. And if you make him kind of how Eberflus did Leonard, kind of a floating linebacker. Hey, you got a great nose for the ball. I'm just going to let you do that. You go be you. And Leonard moved all around, and he was effective that way. I think that's more of a style for Zaire, to where he can use his speed. He can get lower than most linebackers because he's what, 6'2", 6'3"? Or 6 foot?
Like about 6 foot 6'1". He's a smaller guy.
Yeah, so he's going to be able to get under people quickly. And when there was blitz packages, he did well in those. I would hate to just give away a talent like that. But we go back to what we said at the very beginning, Chris, is, we need monsters that can do it all. If coach calls for you to cover, you got to cover efficiently. You can't be running up behind them because you just got burnt.
Yeah.
But I think there's a place on the team for Zaire. Yeah, age-wise, he might be long in the tooth, but I don't know.
But okay, so with Jermaine Pratt though, like let's just say you bring him back on let's just say 3-year, $15 million deal. Is that fine?
No, not 3 years.
Okay.
I don't know. It's not the way this team wants to go. The team wants to get younger faster, and you're signing somebody to 3 years. You're not getting younger. You're not getting faster.
Yeah.
So can he do it? Yeah. Is he going to have more mishaps than stops? Probably. So no, I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it. See what's coming out in free agency, which that's one thing I haven't done on other teams. See who's coming out, and who we could possibly get to fill those roles.
No, let me say because Nate just asked this question. I know Blue says Zaire is not a covers linebacker, which I also agree with. But Nate asked, how would you feel about potentially moving him to an edge role?
Ooh, that's intriguing, Nate. That's very intriguing. He ain't gonna bull rush those tackles, but he can rip and spin through them. Absolutely, because he's fast. Zaire's pretty damn quick. That's very intriguing. That could have some promise to that. Especially if you don't find your edge you're looking for, give Zaire that one role. Get him. Quarterback. That's your job now. He does not get on the outside of you, and you track his ass down every play. And your job is to put him in the dirt. You give that role to Zaire, he will shine in that role. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
And so,
I like that, Nate. Good job. That got me excited. I'm cleaning my glasses for that one because that's
exactly.
Believe it or not, Chris, that's got.
We've talked
could have
about
some
that.
Mustard on it.
We talked about that in Spaces. We talked about that in Spaces, and that seems like something that could actually be a very, very intriguing thing to do. I don't know that Lou would necessarily do that, but I think that would be something that would. That deserves a further discussion. Then Therese says, is Big Grove okay?
I haven't heard anything that he was injured or
looks like he should be all right.
Or anything.
Yeah, I feel like if there's anything that happens with him, it's going to be due to age, not necessarily because of performance or because of injury. So
age now, or the kitchen table. That dude loves to eat.
Yes. Now I'm gonna say only because I realized this ran over a lot more than I thought. But Simpson Ebucom, yay or nay?
Man, I really liked him his first year.
Yeah.
Before his injury.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, Chris, I don't even remember saying his name this year.
We have it because he came back from injury and he really wasn't a factor.
And you got to go.
All
you
right.
got to produce. You got to be a monster. You got to produce.
All right. Now this one's intriguing. You can go ahead and say it, then give me your caveat. So Nick Cross.
Man, I really like Nick. I think Nick has really come into his own. Man, he even had a couple interceptions. I remember one in the end zone. He intercepted it one-handed.
That's the Chargers one, yeah.
Yeah, the Chargers. But I don't think Nick is going to stay. Not for what Ballard's going to offer him.
Yeah.
I think Nick takes himself out of the equation to get a better payday. I don't think it's a cut situation for Nick. I think he's just going to want more money than what we're going to pay him. Yeah. But I like Cross, man. We've watched him from being drafted to being a starter, and he done well with Bynum. He played extremely well with Bynum. Those guys clicked. You never seen him looking at him like, hey, what the hell are you doing over there? I thought you was going to be over here. They never did that. They communicated. They ran the schemes great. And they got a shit ton of stops. They got a shit ton of tackles together. Me personally, I would like to see Nick Cross back. good hard hitting safeties like that is not easy to find.
I feel like he's a guy that would potentially, and I think Jacob said that, and that's something that we've kind of floated. I think Jacob, like Nick Cross, I think is somebody you maybe float potentially moving to linebacker, only because of the type of athleticism that you want your linebackers to have. But once again, I don't know if he's going to be able to do so because it still requires you to do a certain amount of coverage. And I do feel like there's times where he kind of gets lost in coverage a little bit. I think under the right circumstances, I would be okay with bringing Nick Cross back, but I just think as a full-time just safety, I just don't think so.
Okay. Well, I know I wasn't in that space, and I'm still not getting the damn notifications when you guys go live on your spaces. But
I'm just gonna start sending it to you. Do you have your notifications on?
Yeah, but I don't for you. There's only a couple people that I.
For me, what did I do?
Well,
what'd you say?
You tweet too much. My phone would blow up. Blinking.
I tweet too much. I maybe do 2 to 3 a day. Maybe
that's too much. I do 1 a month.
Well, that and the ones that you post on here, but we're not going to get too far into that.
Okay.
Now there's one major.
Let me finish this thought.
Go
for your space talk. And I've had this thought process probably half the season, seeing how bad we was getting beat in the middle. I think Drew Ogletree would make one hell of a middle linebacker. Fast, big, strong, ain't afraid to hit. You see him on kickoff?
Oh yeah.
That kid is not afraid to hit. He's what, 6'3", 6'4"?
6. I think he's closer to maybe 6'5", 6'6".
6'5", 6'6", even better. Got a wingspan that'll wrap around the moon. He understands slots. He understands tight ends. I think he could transition into that cover linebacker that we're looking for.
Yeah.
In a snap. And he's uber athletic. He's very talented.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I've said this more than once on this program that the Colts do him and justice, not putting him in more of the game plan. And I've said that for a long time, and that was my take when last year coming to the draft of why I didn't want to use that pick for Warren, because I think we got Drew Ogletree, Will Mallory can definitely handle the tight end position.
Yeah. Well, I think my issue with getting a tight end was that more so because of the fact that we needed somebody on defense. But I think we still needed to get a tight end. I just didn't think that, drafting Tyler Warren in the first round was going to be what solved that issue. But I get what you're saying, though. So
yeah. But you can take that to spaces and you can say, hey, everybody, P says Ogletree the middle linebacker. I think that intrigues me more than Zaire going to edge.
Yeah,
I think if anybody on this roster can change a position mid-career, I think Drew could do it, and I think Drew would be very successful there.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Now, we got to make sure we got to come back next week because we're almost out of time. But we didn't hit the most important one of all, but we will next week. So in the meantime,
let's get it out of the way.
No, because you're not gonna
We're gonna talk about other shit next week.
Okay, so then if you want to get it out the way, Daniel Jones
re-signing.
But do we re-sign him? Is it a shorter term and for how much?
I don't care. Re-signing.
Okay.
And I've said this on this program before that I believe I don't have no flies on the wall. I don't have no concrete information. This is just a belief that Ballard talked to him and his agent before he got Sauce Gardner. He's like, hey, we really love what you're doing, but right now is not the time to do this contract thing, but I'm 100% want you back. So let's make an agreement right now because I'm getting ready to give away 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah,
I think they had a gentleman's agreement. I think they will re-sign him and bring him back. And with what's out there and what's available in the draft, I think you're best to. I think you're absolutely best to. I mean, he made me change my dadgum Twitter name. He had me eating crow for 8 weeks.
Yeah, no, for damn near the whole season because I think it was obvious afterwards. Like,
even after the Pittsburgh game and the downward spiral we took, he played well. He played good, smart football. Was he the guy that was expecting to carry the team on his back? No, we wasn't. But he played good football. He played smart football and didn't just turn it over left and right because he was trying to play hero ball and carry everybody on his back. He actually used the people and talent that was around him. That's a smart quarterback. That's what we need.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
I think you
definitely bring him back.
I think you definitely do. I think like the details of it would be a little bit different, but like I said, the way that we were talking about like giving him, somewhere like a little bit more than what Sam Darnold was getting, I don't believe that you give him that. Like I think if you decide to go maybe like a 2 to 3 year deal, I think in this draft, and I've been saying it probably like for maybe about like a month now, I think you actually do end up re-signing him, but I think you still potentially see drafting one of these quarterbacks this year, maybe like 3rd, 4th round, maybe, and then just kind of have somebody develop because I think in most of the quarterbacks outside of Fernando Mendoza, shout out to IU, good looking Maddie. Yes, there you go. Jeez, that is Tourette's. But I think like outside of Fernando Mendoza, I think any quarterback coming out this year is automatically going to need to develop a little bit.
I think so, too.
So I don't think that there's going to be a rush for it. I think you get Daniel Jones, you have somebody sitting behind him playing understudy, and then you still saw some promise maybe out of Riley Leonard. So, you're going to have him as backup.
I wouldn't use a draft pick on a quarterback this year. We still got AR under contract. We got Riley Leonard on his rookie deal. You signed Daniel Jones. The writing's kind of on the wall, if you will, with AR. Which breaks my heart, but it's a business.
Yeah.
So he might not be around too much longer, but you still got Leonard to do that development piece. That's got a good arm, pretty smart quarterback.
Yeah.
Took arguably one of the most storied colleges to the national championship in Notre Dame. Played that last game. And I thought he played pretty well. Didn't play well enough to win the game, but nobody did. It seemed like after half, everybody just came out and had no air in them whatsoever. But Leonard, I thought he played pretty damn good football. I think you can build on something like that. I wouldn't waste a draft pick this year on a quarterback to develop, save those picks and get that defense right.
Yeah, I get that. Well, that's fun. So, all right, cool. So we got that out the way. So now I have to speed through everything because Sammy's going to kill you for putting us over time.
I'm sorry.
So tell the people where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at Colts Forge.
There you go.
I changed that name. How do you like that one?
I like that one.
I wish Clyde was here so he could, he could stop chopping me apart about my Twitter name.
Don't worry, Pat. I approve, so you don't have to worry about it anymore, okay?
All
you
right.
got this. I believe in you. All right, and then you can find me at CJ Colts Fan on Twitter. And then also please bring up the podcast page. Yep, and you can find us at Sick Pod Colts, where you'll be able to see all clips of not just this episode, but previous episodes as well. You'll also be able to just go online. You can comment, you can repost, argue amongst your friends if you may, because like I said, since we're not in the playoffs right now, we'll be doing a lot of arguing for the foreseeable future.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, also, you can actually go and you'll be able to either rewatch or you can re-listen to this episode by going to z103.com. I believe it's tomorrow, correct?
Wednesdays.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see
we still get the prime time Wednesday afternoon show.
Yes.
On
Okay.
Z103.
So you can actually listen to the replay of this one on Wednesday, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on z103.com and also on Mix 105. If you're not already, make sure that you follow them on social media. I believe Mix 105 has their page on Facebook. Z103, I do believe they have their app that you'll be able to go to. And I mean, those guys, they work very hard. They put out quality. So yeah, definitely make sure that you are subscribed to z103.com Mix 105. Also, please bring up Visit Indy. And if you scan that QR code, you'll be able to see everything going on in the Indianapolis area, all events, whether it be for kids, adults, Valentine's Day coming up. So, as we said last week, it's just like, looking for something for, your lady, looking for something for your guy, or you're just your peoples in general. That's fine. But either way, make sure that you use Visit Indy. You'll be able to see everything going on. Helps you with being able to figure out what's in the area, what you like, what you don't like. This way you know what to go to and what to avoid. And also make sure that you go to VIP One Lounge Extra. If you're in the UK or even if you just want to listen to something from across the pond, you'll be able to hear that over there, 5 o'clock p.m. UK time. I think they said last week it was like greater something or another. Listen, I don't know, but it's 5 hours ahead of East Coast time, so either way, And then lastly, can you please bring up the youth football camp flyer, please? Yes, and you can actually go. Youth football camps is we're actually partnering with them again, so we'll be doing the official media for them for their football camps for this upcoming season, the first of which is going to be their May 17th football camp hosted by Josh Downs and Tyler Warren. If you were at the one with Josh Downs last season, that was amazing. If you were at the one with Kenny, that was amazing as well. The location is to be determined, but you can register now for it. You can make sure that you go ahead and just get all the kids signed up. They do have a limited amount of spots, so make sure that you get signed up for that as soon as possible because honestly, like the players, they work with the kids. Josh was out there, playing with the kids. I mean, Kenny and Drew both were out there playing with the kids, playing, just 5-on-5 pickup ball. And I mean,
don't forget Jalen Jones was out there too.
Oh, Jalen Jones was out there. Jalen Jones was out there as well. He said that he was going to send me the invite for the wedding that he had in June. He didn't invite me. I'm going to ask him about that if he's there because, for being real, it's just like, I'm just like, listen, I'm a man of my word. I need you to be a man of yours. So either way, but either way, guys, so make sure that you go to youthfootballcamps.com and you'll be able to go ahead and pre-register. But other than that, we are all set. Anything else from you, Pat?
Nope. Y'all just be good, be right, be blessed.
Absolutely. Go IU, all the good things. And yeah, we will see you guys next week.
Who, Jeff?
Sammy, take us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.